Alrighty, Chuck. So, what are we doing today?
Well, taking a break from the buck for a couple of days. We gotta order our paint and get that. So I was gonna sand on it, but I can't really sand on it until we get the primer on it, because once you sand it, you get down with the metal and things get rusted. Then you got to start all over again. So I decided to do what we love to do, and that is take old things that been forgotten or people are going to throw out or whatever, and make new things out of it. So we got this piece, and it was an old stereo. It had a radio, had like a transmitter thing here, and a radio down, or excuse me, a turntable down here, and speakers on the side. So we took all that off, and Rachel came up with a really cool idea for this piece. So right now I'm taking it apart so that I could accomplish what she had in her mind. Should be a pretty simple build, I think.
So, where'd you get this piece?
We got it from a local friend who was moving to North or South Dakota, and it was a piece he didn't want anymore, and he knew that we like to take old things and make them into cooler things, so he let us have it, so we didn't have to move it with him.
For free?
Yep.
Well, that's nice.
He did tell Mom, or he told Rachel, that when we got it done, send them some pictures, because he'd love to see what we finally ended up doing with it.
Chuck.
Yes, ma'am.
Why is denim better than leather? I know this one.
Well, that worked out great. And now I don't have to fill it with any wood filler. Haha.
So, Chuck?
Oh my gosh, you told me this the other day and I can't remember what it is now.
I know.
Hang on. Don't tell me, because you told me the other day and I can't remember now.
I'll tell him the answer.
Okay, why is denim better than what?
Leather.
Dadgummit. I don't remember.
You know the answer?
Yeah.
Because it has better jeans.
Oh, that's right.
You're wearing them. How did you not get that?
Well, because
Oh, you forgot it?
Yeah.
Alright guys, day 3 of working on the stereo cabinet thing. What's today's plan, Chuck?
Well, I finished up all the sanding. I got this piece on. I got it nice and glued. I screwed it in from the bottom. So right now I am working on fixing the countersink some holes for my shelf for this side.
Yeah.
I have to make a few marks. I've got to figure out, I need to figure out my spacing. I'm going to have 2 shelves on this side. So I'll figure out the shelving, the spacing for that. And then I've got to cut a back for it. think it's gonna look really good when we get it done. Of course, you can't really tell how good it's gonna look until Rachel puts the paint on it. That's what really does it for our projects. Like I say, she draws it up, and I basically build it, but she does all the pretty work for it, which is the painting of everything. So that's what really makes our pieces, is when she puts the finishing touches on it. Cause she can, like when she pictures something in her head, she knows it. Like she can see it when it's already done. She's got to draw a picture for me. I had another jacket on yesterday or the day before with the actual drawing in it, so that I could use it for a reference. I have a tendency sometimes when she'll draw something up, I'll try to put my own spin on it, and it never really works out. So I've learned to just follow the instructions and build it the way she planned it.
So what you're saying is you're an instruction guy, Chuck?
What?
So what you're saying is you're an instruction guy?
Yes.
You work best with instructions?
Yes.
Chuck dog. Hey, buddy. I love you. Okay, Chuck. So what's the plan for the 2x4s?
I need to create a back for it, and I don't have a large enough sheet of plywood on hand. So I'm going to improvise and make a back out of it.
So are you gonna like use the whole thick 2x4, or are you gonna like half them?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on the table saw, rip them in half, like down the width of it.
Yeah.
Run them through the planer, and then I'll stack them.
Okay, for those of us who aren't carpenters and don't know what rip them in half means, what does that mean?
So I will take it and run it through the table saw this way.
Cool.
And essentially cut it in half.
Alrighty, we are back to the camera, and the circular saw has magically transformed into a table saw. No, I'm just kidding. But Chuck is now going to split the boards in their width so that he can turn them into a slatted back.
Want some paper?
Chuck is not afraid to wear sawdust because sawdust is man glitter. Hey Dad, I got a carpenter joke for you. What did the 1x say to the 2x?
No idea.
You're a stud. Sorry, I made it rain. Alright guys, so
You got snow flurries.
So we have a shelf in, we have the boards for the back, and here's that piece you were cutting earlier.
Oh, the one on knot?
Mm-hmm.
It's on the bottom.
So Chuck notched out a piece on one of his boards so that it can fit over this thing and not stick off the back. Like you can't feel her lips. Leave him turning blue. Bye-bye. Throwing a party because we get to go inside. Well, it's actually snowing now. No more flurries. It's snowing.
Rachel stained all the back pieces, and some of them turned out really cool. I need one more.
One more board. Chuck's going wood hunting.
This is all cut off from the gazebo that they built that Rachel showed you guys.
The movie they were making.
Yep. They were gonna actually, like some of these pieces down here, like this piece here, it's a real 2" by 6" and it is one solid piece, you know, 2 inches by 6 inches from here to here, so probably 5 foot in length. And they were gonna throw it away, and I was like, are you kidding me? Of course, and this was like, you know, when lumber was at its peak for how high it was.
The noon siren. Sing, Shop Dog. Sing. Sing, Bubba. Oh, pretty singing. Pretty singing. How pretty. You guys, he puts his whole heart into it.
Good morning. So I'm back out here today. We're working on our new revamp of this old stereo. Rachel and I kind of, when we take a piece and we put it together or she creates something, most of the time we will take the existing skeleton, the bones of it, and we'll turn it into something totally different. Other times we like to do the history on it and see, you know, how old the piece is and how many of them were made. If it was something that was like, I don't know, mass produced. We've got a lot of pieces next door that we've done the history on, and you know, it turns out that they were actually made by a real craftsman. You know, it wasn't run-of-the-mill MDF board, which is that fake pressed wood stuff. So they're solid wood. But this piece here, a lot of it was MDF, so we wanted to incorporate a lot of our staining techniques in with her design aspect of it as well. So you'll see on the door of it, I've only got the door on there right now so I can see where all the shelves are supposed to be, get my straight lines and everything, and then I'll take the door off. I'm gonna sand off that little, I don't know, floral design, and then we'll paint over it. We might decoupage it, not really 100% sure yet. So right now I've got my shelves cut for the right side over here, and on the ends, so this side of it, the right side of it, I wanted to have a couple of end pieces so the shelves could kind of sit on it and have a little side support. So I've cut a little 2-inch piece of 1x material, and I placed it on the sides of it to kind of follow the same design pattern. I didn't want to have, you know, so many straight lines on it that I took away from some of the decorative pieces on the bottom. So I've brought that up from the bottom to incorporate that into the top as well. So I'm going to put this on the scroll saw real quick. I'll cut one piece, get it nice and sand it down, and then I'll use this piece as a stencil or a jig, so to speak, and trace that out and cut my other piece as well. I see a lot of people that will take an old piece and they'll just cover it in paint. And you know, some of the pieces look good, but there's other pieces that you just, I don't know, I think it kind of ruins it. You know, you get those old Victorian pieces or colonial pieces, and then you throw a coat of paint on them, and it just kind of, I think it destroys it. So Rachel and I like to take it back to its original wood structure, or take off the old finish and then refinish it and make it look brand new again. So that's kind of where we're at with, you know, I'm not saying that we don't paint things, because we do, but whenever possible we really like to stay with the original structure. This piece was mass produced, the stereo didn't work, it had speakers on the side. Some of the back of it was, I guess it had gotten water damage, so that MDF board, when it gets wet, it's like a sponge and it just soaks up all the water, so I've had to take that off. So that's why, you know, that's why we've literally taken it back down to the bones and built it from the bottom up. So I think when it gets done, it's going to look really cool. Once Rachel puts the paint on it and everything, that's when it really, it just becomes beautiful, you know. Up until that part, to me, you know, it looks good when it comes together, but once she puts the paint on it, that's what does it for me. So, it's not really much of a tutorial video, just to show you, you know, what Rachel and I actually go through to, you know, bring a piece back and make sure it is better than it was. So, you know, I think that's, people should live by that. You know, if you leave something better than you found it. Okay, so I am proud to say that we have finally finished this old stereo conversion. Okay, so the changes that we made, you know, originally we had the spindle here that I put on the wood lathe. and I spun, but it didn't really line up right here. So Rachel and I took a look at it and decided, okay, that doesn't look good. That's not up to our standards. So we took it off and just went with a square piece just to put it all together. So I'm happy to say that my part's done. You know, like I said in further videos, right now, it just, you know, it looks good, but until Rachel puts the paint on it, it's really going to look good. We had a door on there, and you guys saw that, but when we put it up there and actually hung it, we noticed that, see, originally the form, the shape of it, you know, it's got this line or whatever. The line actually continued up this way, so I thought it was part of the design, but when we got to looking at it, it was actually cracked. So luckily it had a door on this side also, so we were able to take this door, put it on that side, and it isn't cracked, so we're all good there. I've gone it over with the sander a couple of times to make sure it looks great. So at this point, I'm going to pass the torch to Rachel, and she's going to do her thing. It'll be all nice and pretty, and hopefully it's going to look as beautiful as we picture it in our mind. So I hope you guys like watching our videos, and it's off to you, Rachel.